friends. I have my Sanderson Witch Museum shirt on, which gives you a little hint, a giant hint, as to where we're going today. I am currently in Maine, which I'll show you my view in just a second. Had a little job up here. My parents came and visited, and so I was like, oh my gosh, let's go. Oh, there's a bug. Welcome to Maine. Always bugs. So I suggested, let's go somewhere else at the end of the trip because we're on the East Coast, so there's a lot of those cool, like, old historic cities that I've never been to. So let's go fly out of Boston. And when I looked into Salem was so close to Boston, so I was like, oh my gosh, let's go to Salem. It's the beginning of September. It's literally the perfect time to go. I do wish it was like the leaves were changing a little bit more, but still, it's literally perfect. The weather is, I was gonna say the weather's gonna be perfect, but it's supposed to rain all day, which is gonna be okay. So I'll still try and take you guys around with us and show you what we find, what we see. I'm gonna go see the Hocus Pocus filming locations, probably the Witch Museum, and then just see where the world takes us. Especially in the rain, I feel like I have some... Maine has some of the most interesting critter sounds and critters in general that I've ever heard. So anyways, I feel like my adventures in the rain, as much as I don't look forward to them because I want to be like comfortable and not wet all day, sometimes they tend to be some of the most incredible adventures I've ever had because you kind of have to go with the flow. And so today is definitely going to be that. We're going to go to Salem, and I'm so excited. First, let me show you my view. This is the view of my parents' Airbnb. Very much reminds me, like, that looks like the Black Lake, and like Hogwarts should be like right around here. It's literally perfect. So, gonna have coffee, have some breakfast, pack up, and then head out probably in like an hour and a half so we get there like late morning and explore around. So I'll bring you guys with me. Cheers. We finally made it to Salem after what should have been a 2-hour drive turned into a 4-hour drive. It was a little chaotic to say the least, so we were really excited to make it to our hotel room. We were staying at the Salem Inn. This is a collection of different homes all along the same block. Our room was in the Peabody House, which was right down the road from the main building of the Salem Inn. The rooms very comfortably slept 3. There was a queen bed that my parents slept in, and then I slept in the day bed, which was honestly so incredibly comfortable. Once we got settled in, we headed straight down the road to get some food because after a 4-hour road trip, let me tell you, we were starving. We ended up at the Flying Saucer Pizza Company, which is one of my favorite spots I've ever eaten in to date. Everything here is themed from the decorations, to the drink names, to the pizza names, and they had an entirely separate vegan menu and an entirely separate gluten-free menu, so it was great for allergies. After that absolutely amazing late lunch, we walked around the downtown Salem area. All of this was about a 5-minute walk from our hotel, which was incredibly convenient. We did attempt to see the Salem Witch Museum show, which I would not recommend. It was very intense and the quality was lacking. It wasn't what we dreamed it would be. Luckily, the next thing on our list was the Hocus Pocus filming locations. We started at the Town Hall Square, which is where the iconic I Put a Spell on You scene takes place, and then made our way over to Rope's mansion, aka Allison's house. Little did we know, there's also a gorgeous garden at the back of the house, which we took a little prance through and just enjoyed the views. The inn had invited us back for a little happy hour wine tasting from 4 to 6, which, after the travel day we'd had, was very welcomed. We enjoyed a lovely free glass of wine before we headed upstairs to get ourselves together for our next adventure. I'm all about the ambiance at home, so I figured it would be fun to bring that into our travels as well and turn on Hocus Pocus as we got ready. Our next adventure included a walk down to Max and Dani's iconic house. This was about 1.5 miles from where we were staying, so it was actually a lovely walk. We got to see some of the incredible architecture that Salem has to offer, as well as a little bit of the sea. We ended our night by grabbing something to go from a restaurant down the road and tucking in at our cute Airbnb. Hi friends, it is Salem, day 2, just finishing up getting ready. It was rainy and cold yesterday. It's gonna be rainy and cold again today. So do my best to film, but it's a little hard when it's raining. But we're getting ready. Our little inn, we're staying at the Salem Inn, which is super cute. They have a bunch of little houses and it's really centrally located. They also have continental breakfast. So we put in our breakfast order last night and we're gonna go get that in a little bit. Enjoying my coffee while I finish up my makeup and try and make something happen with my hair for the rain, which it's probably gonna, I'm just gonna try and straighten it, so we'll see. But gonna go have another Salem adventure today, and then we're gonna head into Boston before we fly out of Boston tonight, so I'll bring you guys along.
First things first is breakfast, of course. We had packed up our things and put them in the car so that we could take our time at breakfast and walk around town until we wanted to drive down to Boston later that day. It was still gray and rainy, which honestly kind of worked for which city. Was not the most comfortable walking around in, but wearing leather shoes and a wide-brimmed hat definitely helped. We first made our way back to Salem Common. This is a beautiful park that is featured in Hocus Pocus. You know the scene in the beginning where Allison gives Max his number back? This is where that was filmed. You'll actually be able to walk right up to another Hocus Pocus filming location on the edge of this park. You can see Phillips Elementary School, which is where they filmed the exterior shots for the high school that they go to in Hocus Pocus. My mom really wanted to see the water, so we walked straight through downtown and actually ended up right at the water's edge. It was a really beautiful walk to see all of the old architecture and a little bit of the changing leaves for autumn. I'm a Midwest girl living in Florida, so to see those changing leaves was an absolute treat, even if it was just a little bit. My favorite part of this day was shopping, which no surprise there really, but the stores around the downtown Salem area are so kitschy and magical and have such unique goods. I can't really even explain the environment. They just felt whimsical and special. My absolute favorite store that we went to in Salem was the Emporium. The ambiance was absolutely unmatched. It felt magical and unique and just so special. I got a necklace from the store that I wear almost daily. If you're ever in Salem, highly, highly, highly recommend spending some time here. Our last stop before heading out to Boston was Why Not's Wand Shop. This is a really special space where you can get your own wand. It's very Harry Potter-esque, so if you are a Gryffindor, a Ravenclaw, a Slytherin, or a Hufflepuff, definitely check out this beauty. We had no real plans in Boston, so we just walked around Boston Common, took in the architecture, and actually came up upon a botanical garden that was really beautiful to walk through. last stop of my trip was Harvard campus. I've always wanted to see this campus. I'm not really sure why. I think it's because there's so much history here, but I'm really, really glad I made a stop. I actually wish I would have spent more time here to see the architecture and soak in the history. Before heading to the airport, I got a delicious cup of coffee and just tried to live my Rory Gilmore Ivy League dreams. I was soaking wet, but we had a great time. I'll see you on the next adventure.